On the agenda tonight, we have a request from Alderman Kleiner, who want the committee to have a discussion regarding the recycling plant as far as illegal dumping. With that said, I'll let Alderman Kleiner go first. Go ahead, Alderman.
Okay, we've talked about this a lot, and Commissioner, maybe you can tell us whether we could get some security cameras at the recycling center, or do something that, so that we really have no way of overseeing it right now.
You see,
I don't know, you can tell me, has it been much of an issue this year with extra dumping and things that shouldn't be left there? And
yeah, honestly, I can't tell you because we can't staff it long enough. So to give you an answer, it hasn't been a problem. I have not had any complaints, besides obviously the pictures you sent us, which is I thank you all the time for, you send me all kinds of referrals, most of the time they're very, very, right on. But this time, even when we send the police, as you know, to investigate, he said this is all legitimate. The people live here and so on and so forth, according to what the chief reported back to us.
right.
So, it's up to you. If you guys want us to put cameras in, we'll be happy to put them in. But the cameras, it needs somebody to be watching them. Otherwise, it's after the fact. And we don't have enough workers to sit down and watch the cameras, to be honest with you, on a live feed. And before we used to have a person in there with the booth. Eventually we took down the booth. And because we needed the person, he has to be somewhere else. And to be honest with you also is we have vacancies and we can't even fill the vacancies, either full-time or part-time. That's how bad it is. So, if you want to put cameras in there too, so after the fact, at least we have something to hang our hat on. If somebody says, we'll be happy to do it. It will be recording, and if there's an incident in there, he said, well, on such and such a date, yesterday, it was reported the landscaper was in there dumping all over the place and whatever it is. At least we can go back and we can get a license plate and we can get, more details about it. So we'll be happy to do it if that's the wishes of the Common Council and the mayor, to add the cameras.
My question to you, Commissioner, what's the sole purpose of having a recycling plant? Because as of right now, we're offering door-to-door service. So what's the sole purpose of having a plant? Do we need it?
Well, yeah, you wanna give the people an option in there to come and deliver. Sometimes you have an extra amount of recyclables and yard waste. It's not only recyclables, it's also yard waste and branches and all that. So, it's
But it's not.
It's for the convenience. I mean, you can discuss it among yourselves. If you want to eliminate it, you can.
Okay. Is that a liability though, by having someone come to the plant if anything happened?
No, we can't babysit people. We can't walk people into our property.
Okay.
If they go in there and do something, and that's it. It's.
But what if something happened? I'm saying,
What?
if somebody go into the plant, are we liable for that?
Into the plant?
Yes.
You mean into the recycle center?
Correct.
We are as liable as somebody walking on our sidewalk and falling, if that's what you mean.
Okay. I'm just asking.
Yeah, no, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, in my opinion, I'm not an attorney, so I can't give you legal advice, but
Okay.
in my mind, we are as just liable as somebody walking down across on our sidewalk, city-owned sidewalk.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. Mary, do you have anything?
Jacob knows what I'm going to say. Because I've said it before, and what communities do is they do a kiosk with camera. They make anyone going in record their plate number or record their address into the kiosk. It's recorded. You need to pass legislation, if we don't already have it, preventing private landscapers from delivering things there. You need to identify what type of products can be delivered to the recycling center. Like, I think this came about with Jerry with the big tree stumps. We do know landscapers are doing work. They're charging people for taking stuff away, and they're bringing it to our facility, and we're paying to get rid of it. So it's not feasible to staff it 24 hours a day, or or even during open hours. We don't have the manpower, but it gives the It gives us an opportunity that if someone goes in and doesn't record, they've got equipment out there that will flag it, flag the vehicle going in, and then the police take it from there. And I think it's a pretty simple process, and all we have to do is find the right equipment. And I don't think they're very expensive. It takes a couple more minutes for the person going there, but it's taxpayers' dollars that we're using to get rid of these things. And I see a lot of landscaper vehicles there.
And
I see them going by, and by the time you do anything, they're gone. They dump and then they're out.
Can
So-
the camera feed be connected to the police station?
Well, the police aren't going to monitor because we don't monitor all the cameras, but it's something that if they do record their plate number and they're not tied to a Middletown property, then we can, we have a record of it. Or they put the wrong plate number in, we have a record of it. We'll have to spot check it every once in a while, and enforcement is the only way to do it to prevent all the problems. But it's other communities do it. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. Other communities control these things using technology.
Thank you, Mayor. Alderman Johnson.
I never really thought about it. I'm in there frequently, have a lot of cardboard. Actually, I don't think all my cardboard will fit in my brand-new recycle can, but that's okay. But certainly half the time I go in there, it is the front part where the plants are. And now that I'm thinking about it, about a month ago, this guy had a really big, dump truck. And he backed up and he dumped, and then he pulled forward and he dumped. He put a lot of shavings and branches in there. I didn't really stop to ask him who he was or what he was doing, but I can see that could be a big problem. And I agree. We're paying to card, they're making money to cut it down, and we're paying to take
Correct.
it away.
And
So it might be worth looking at in some capacity.
correct. And by having a discussion with some of the residents in the Fourth Ward, a lot of them don't even know, never been to the recycle plant. And like I said, we offer in a door-to-door service already, especially with bigger garbage and recycle can that we have now. And I think that's going to encourage people to recycle a lot more, because the topic used to be, well, how come no one is recycling more? Well, Middletown never give us the can. And now we have. And I really think that's going to make a big difference. I could see it already.
Your choice.
Alderman Green.
We hear it all the time at our constituents meeting. This has been, even before I was on the council, that it's just been a long time. And a lot of people that I know do use it. I don't think it's something that I would like to consider removing from people's, as an option. But I do agree that we need some form of enforcement, whether it be to start with cameras and then, or to look at one of these other towns or cities that are doing it, find out what the systems are, get cameras that will work with the system, see if cameras alone just work, then go ahead and if we decide, this kiosk thing's a great idea, let's do it. We're not going to reinvent the wheel here. We're just going to make things a little better and, stop some people from dumping illegally, and hopefully by that we'll eliminate some extra charges that we're not making, the taxpayers don't want to pay for. So,
Agree.
yeah.
Alderman Massey? Do you want to have a conversation with us? No part. Alderman Burr?
What I see in other places, they put a keypad out. You have to press in the code number, and that tells you, it opens the gate for you and lets you in. But the only problem with that is I could give my buddy the code, so, that'd be the cheapest way out, just by putting a pad up there and pressing your numbers. Can you hook it to an address? It's tough, because, like the mayor said, do plates, but let's say you have a car that doesn't have a plate of your address on it. If you're, so I think that could be an issue. But I know quite a few of my neighbors use the recycling center, especially on, the days they get home, they can just recycle during the day. So I don't know what the best idea is.
But then again, this is what I was referring to, being that they want to have a larger can now, you're able to recycle a lot more than before.
Well, let me just tell you about the recyclable cans.
Okay.
I've never seen so many blue cans out on a Thursday. You can ask the DPW guys, they were out, what, 6 hours overtime that day? I mean, it was amazing how many cans were out there on,
A lot of people are recycling.
there were a lot of people.
Yes,
It really,
right.
you give them something free, they'll use it.
Right, right. Thank you, Alderman Burr. Alderman Consume.
I think we have to, these are areas where we can make some inroads in controlling costs on things, and I think that leaving that wide open is just a little bit reckless. I mean, we provide a lot of really great services to the people who live here, but it seems like a lot of people who don't live here have been taking advantage. If they're not sneaking their trash in, and we've got that going on, and, you know, we get into these conversations. I've had people, you know, approach me about, you know, even the additional can, like, oh my God, you want $100? And I'm like, how much is County Waste going to charge you a month to come get an extra can? You know, if you generate a lot of trash, then, you know, the rest of the people who don't shouldn't be lifting that burden for everyone as well. So I think that, you know, in the same train of thought, we need to, you know, if we can lock this down, it's the way to go. You know, keypad in an ideal world, yes, but now you got a guy with a code who's selling the code to his landscaper friends, and, you know, it's not going to control it. I think we have to figure out, I don't claim to know the answer there, but I think definitely that that's not something we can leave wide open. It's not a good plan.
All right, Alderman Clark, you want to go again?
Commissioner, did you want to say something else?
Okay, Commissioner, go ahead.
Thank you. I mean, life, you guys, honorable members of the council, you just bear in mind, life is complicated enough for us, okay? And at some point, you got to do cost-benefit analysis before we start pulling triggers and changing stuff and quantifying what the issues are. If I saw a landscaper in there, I will stop by and see it and address it and all that stuff. We can put a camera in there on a trial basis in there, see how much we're catching in there. Who's going to be reviewing the cameras? Who's going to be reviewing all these things in there? It's just, life is tough enough for us to try to squeeze pennies, if there are pennies in there, out of something in there. Our guys are always there, driving back and forth. If they see something, they stop. It's not really truly open just for anybody, but sometimes things happen. Hey, they go dump in the road, in the street, South Railroad. All the time we have dumping there. In every street, in every blind spot in there, they have the illegal dumping. We put notice of cameras and all that stuff. My point is, life is complicated enough right now, and we can do it. Whatever you guys want us to do, we'll be happy to do it. It's just, I advise you to try to look into cost-benefit analysis before we start pulling triggers and making all kinds of situations. You create all kinds of complication for us. I'm not minimizing what you guys are saying, or there is not illegal dumping. I can't swear to it because I'm not there. Mm-hmm. I do hear about sometimes illegal dumping, but if it doesn't happen in our recycling center, I'm not saying allowing it. We're not allowing it. If we catch somebody, we'll pursue him. Mm-hmm. How many guys did we catch? We didn't catch any. Mm-hmm. So in the streets in there, they're going to go dump in South Railroad. They're going to go dump in all kinds of different areas in there. So at some point, it's cost-benefit analysis.
Well, my concern is, Commissioner, this area is growing very rapidly. I mean, if we have an issue now, it's going to get worse.
Okay.
All right? I think it's best to tackle it now before it gets out of hand.
Okay.
But can I just say, if we had, you know, and what I've asked for quite some time now is just to have a couple security cameras where we can record it. And it's not that someone's monitoring it, you know, 12 hours or however long it's open, 10 hours a day, because we can't really do that. But at least if suddenly there's a whole lineup of TVs there, or there's just a ton of huge, you know, tree trunks or things like that, you'd be able to look at the tape for that day and see where they came from. And maybe someday when someone has a few minutes, they could just zoom through the tape and just get a sense of who's using it. So it would at least give us something to go back to And you could add to those signs, surveillance cameras in use.
We already have them.
And there's no cameras.
Yeah.
I know. We already have them to scare people. Hey, we have them on South Railroad.
I agree.
In there, the warning, and we have a camera on the tree.
Yeah. I don't have a dog, but I have a dog warning also, signs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't forget, this is a public meeting, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this is not public here. It's not televised.
On TV, it's
Yes.
live.
Oh,
Well,
that's on
maybe we
TV?
can talk to New York Security
I
or
didn't know
somebody and
this.
see just
So
what,
much for that
what a
camera on
simple
that
system
tree.
would cost.
Sorry?
We could see just what a simple system would cost. Talk to one of our vendors like New York Security or somebody like that and see, just to put up a couple cameras where they could be and to record it, what that would involve.
Yeah, if
That's a
that's your
great
wishes,
idea.
we can. I'm sorry?
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, if that's your wishes, we can do it. I mean, we can put the camera ourselves because we have cameras monitoring our own garage and our own yard. And it's the system is logged in and all that stuff. If you want us, we can do it ourselves, or you want to get New York.
Well, who-
A cheap deer camera that comes on and off automatically for $90 to find
The
out.
register, you need people to understand the rules when they go in there. What's so complicated? I disagree with Jacob's theory that if we
Mayor, can
don't
you-
let everyone dump there.
Mayor, can you please come to the mic, sir?
Sure,
Thank you.
certainly.
Appreciate it.
Aye, I will do that. I don't think we should ever take the position to let people do something wrong because we're afraid of them doing something even worse. So we don't send a message to the landscapers, hey, dump here because we're afraid you're gonna dump on South Railroad Avenue. That's a horrible message. We should have the rules posted. We should have them enter. You can even have people just write their name in. Have a record, just like Jerry said. Write through, you can do it as simple as a book or a kiosk. I was just looking at kiosks, $1,000 for a kiosk, solar powered kiosk, and a camera. And if there's TVs there, DPW should check it once a day. If there's TVs there, then you check the video if there's abuse.
Good idea.
And it's a pretty simple process. And I don't agree with the mentality of because life's complicated, that it's good. I don't think making it more complicated, stopping illegal dumping at the recycling center. If we catch them, we should arrest them. But we need proof. And I agree with Jerry Kleiner.
Holy cow.
How many times have you heard that in 20 years?
Mark it on your calendar.
I'll do it and consume. Thank you, Mayor.
I agree. I think that, Jerry hit the nail on the head. It's pretty obvious when someone goes in and does something they're not supposed to do. But the fact of the matter is, people are aware of the services we provide here. Last year for bulk pickup, I come out one morning and there's suddenly a mattress on my pile. It wasn't my mattress.
Correct.
People are aware of the services provided here and they take advantage of them, and that's the fact. And, we're not going to catch it all, but we should be trying to catch it where it's happening. And the people who are going to get prosecuted for it that we do inevitably catch, that message gets sent. It's the same reason why people don't speed in Montgomery. You get enough fines thrown your way and you start telling people, don't do that. It's really bad. They'll throw the book at you every time. And we have to start throwing the book because it's clearly something that goes on pretty often citywide. That's just my thought.
Thank you. Alderman Johnson, this meeting is getting interesting.
Once again, I'm thinking about things I never thought about before. Do we have a sign that says no commercial dumping for that?
I don't think we have, do we have that?
City residents only, all kinds
But that doesn't preclude commercial dumping. If I'm
all the signs are there.
Does it say that? Okay.
I don't specifically remember, but we have residents, City of Middletown.
Commissioner, can you please come to the mic, sir?
Yes, sir.
But if I'm a landscaper in the city of Middletown, I might think it's okay to
that's
put
an-
my stuff
that is
there.
a
I don't know.
question.
Yeah, it is, we have signs in there, residents of the City of Middletown only. ID is required because
But
we
it
used to
doesn't
have
say no
person.
But it does not
I-
specifically say no commercial
I
dumping.
believe it does, but I can look into it. I believe it does, but we have so many signs all over that I haven't been there for a
know.
while,
I know.
to be honest with you, but we can look into that, no
As
commercial.
far as mayor's idea of signing a book, the bad actors won't sign the book. That'll be that.
That's why you have the camera.
Oh, we're gonna have the camera as well. Okay, all right.
Obviously, the mayor and I, we disagree 180 degrees apart on this
Agree to
one.
disagree. That's what it's all about.
Thank you. Alderman Green, you want to go? Yeah.
Yeah, just, again, whether it's a camera in a book, a camera in a kiosk, you need one or the other or both. Just, I agree. It's time to, put our our foot down and say, enough is enough. We're not becoming a police state, but we are going to enforce the laws that are there. And for the minimal cost that this is going to be to send a message is also an important thing to consider. So I think that, it's the right way to go. Let's just, let's do it and not keep circling back all the time about this. So time has come. Thank you.
So Commissioner, moving forward, so we could, is this something you would look into?
Yeah, if that's your wishes right now,
Yes,
it
it is.
appears to be the wishes of the mayor and the common council,
Yes.
is to do the kiosk in there for, I need some details about
Do we have,
what's to be written in the book.
but do we have to get
But I'll
Alex
get that
involved?
from the mayor about what's,
It's pretty simple. I'll speak with the commissioner.
Well, I'd like to get it resolved now.
yeah, I'll
like
work
to
it
get
out
it
with the
resolved
mayor.
now.
But we will put whatever, I'll put at least the cameras and whatever the mayor directs me to do.
Okay.
After that, we'll put it in there.
Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
Commissioner. Appreciate that.
He's in a good mood, he's just not receptive right now.
I am receptive.
Municipal solid waste coordinates. Did anyone receive anything from Alex?
Yeah, I think, did
I-
Alex send it to the?
I didn't receive anything. I don't know if anyone.
The chairman, I think what you're looking for is municipal solid waste ordinance in there. Now we replace the cans in there, we give them to the people. Now it's time to put this into our code and you guys to make it the law.
Okay.
We have done administrative directives in there, single family home, 2 cans per discussion with the mayor, 2 family, maximum 4 cans in there. If you want more, it's $100 per year and all that stuff. You cannot put any material outside your cans in there. It cannot overflow. I took a picture today. We have our green can, we have our recyclable cans overflowing, and then there's another regular garbage can next to it, and we still ShopRite, almost what I call ShopRite plastic bags next to it. Today, I just took the picture today, driving back, coming back.
Right.
So it's still happening. We need to warn people in there. The only way to do it is to for you guys to vote on the law as was drafted. I think Alex Smith already. Did you get it, Jerry? Did Alex send it?
Oh, you got
Yeah,
it?
he did circulate it.
I didn't get it.
Oh, that's all right. We'll make sure it's done tomorrow. By tomorrow, we'll make sure it goes out to everybody in the common council, and then the mayor here has some ideas in there about having possibly informational meeting next week.
Okay.
So maybe we can, for the public.
Do you want to talk about that now, man?
Yeah, I can talk about it.
Okay.
We had an informational meeting for the downtown business district, and so that is, we had it at the senior center for business owners, property owners, and tenants, both residential and commercial, whatever. And it was well received, and we got some important feedback from the people. I think before we adopt the ordinance, which we would hope to adopt in 2 weeks, that maybe you can have a informational hearing, or we're putting together brochures for people. What I would like to do is have the code department, and I discussed this with Jacob after we developed the brochure, visit houses where people who are not in compliance and have a face-to-face discussion with people and explain to them what the program is and what their obligations are before we start really enforcing this. It's a big change. There's no question about it. It's simple. We deal with it every day, but some people still don't know that the cans are for them. And they've left them on their curbside or they've left them on their lawn. Yesterday, I rode around the second ward. Last night, after coming back from picking up Alderman Massey. Don't thank me for that, by the way. But, and I asked one of my neighbors, I said, why did you leave your can lid open? Because a lot of people left it open. It's probably almost 50-50. And he said, I wanted to make it easier for the garbage men. I said, well, the purpose, don't worry about it. It opens automatically when they tip it. But something as simple as that, thought they were doing a good deed for the sanitation guy. And I said, no, purpose is, the lid is to keep the birds and the animals out.
In the rain also. When
Yeah,
it rains,
yeah,
you
and
get
it
a
makes
lot
it
of
heavier with the rain.
Yeah.
I know it's written, but a lot of people just don't get up and read their garbage can. So what we want to do is have most people are compliant, but some aren't. Some are just tenants, some don't get notices. And have like, you want to call it a garbage ambassador, going door to door, explaining what needs to be done, placement of the cans. If they don't have a driveway, they have to submit to us where they're going to place the can on the yard. So it's not, you can't keep it out on the street 7 days. Some people are doing that. They don't want to move them. Make them aware, and I have a slide tonight in my presentation about the size of the cans. You can trade your can. Once we get this going, if a 95 gallon is too big, you can trade down to a 65 or a 35. If you're, a single person, you don't need that large. So we're putting the brochure is ready for downtown because that's even more complicated. And we're then going to take that and make it a brochure for people going around and visiting homes. So I don't want to do any heavy-handed enforcement until everyone has an opportunity to learn what the program is and what the expectations are, and also get adjusted to what their needs are. Their needs might be, my needs are going to be, I'm going to need an extra garbage can because we produce a lot. We have a lot of people. We have 4 generations in my house, and I'm going to pay the $100 a year for an extra MSW can. So that's the pitch. But we need to, I know one member of the board mentioned to me, well, why don't we just give the second can for free? Well, because everyone will take a second can. It won't encourage one of the other reasons why you see more recycling is that, and this is part of that whole industry is people want to free up space in the can too. They don't want to fill up their garbage can because now they have another can they can use for recycling. But we want to reassure them at holiday time they're not going to have to worry about it. We're going to allow them to use the recycling can for municipal garbage. So there's a lot of information to deliver in a nice little brochure that they can keep in their home and not have to go out and read their garbage can for the rules. So that's the intent. Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I know we discussed it when you picked me up last night. We were driving back with the commissioner. People who have regular cans now, what we can do for them, maybe as you, I think, brought it up last night, designate a day or a week where we can literally go and pick them up if they no longer want their.
Correct.
That's a great idea.
Correct. And Jacob has mentioned also that if they want to get rid of them now, just put a note on them, staple it and put it out with your regular garbage or on recycling night or whatever, and they'll take it now. And we'll get rid of them. Or keep them for some yard waste if you have room. But we don't want to be heavy-handed on this. That's the big thing. We want, most people are complying. When you, I think Dr. Johnson mentioned to me this morning that some neighbors like in Brewster Drive said, how much better it looks in the morning when you walk down the street and you just see a green garbage can standing there, not, 3 or 4 garbage cans strewn on a lawn and on the street and other garbage all over. The streets are getting cleaner, and we're just at the beginning of the program, but this is not going to be a hammer. This is going to be someone, we're going to do it nice, they're going to do it kind. Now, if you have people who absolutely refuse, they have to understand that the end game is that once we pull the plug and say, education time is over, if you're not compliant, then we're not picking up your garbage. We're going to give you a violation notice. But that's down the road. So we're going to give people plenty of time to become compliant with the program, and then I think it's going to work fine. I think some people who are reluctant and had concerns and still have concerns about the size of the can, when they get the smaller can, they'll be happier. A lot of seniors, I think once it all happens, people will be very happy. And it's a good time of year for us to start it too.
All right. Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor, on that $100 thing for the garbage, who do you make, contact DPW?
Yeah, we can't do it yet because
Okay.
right
Somebody
now
asked me.
we're allowing people to use the recycling can for garbage also, because to learn how much they produce, that can holds a lot. But you have to adopt all that, and we have to get the program in place before we do all that.
That'll be a straight payment?
We did have
or-
some problems with the distribution people.
Right.
There were a company out of South Carolina, and they did a little screw up, so they left them at empty homes. So we're doing some corrective measures there, but in the end, we'll get it straight. But it's going to be $100 annual fee, and it'll be billed on whatever Don decides how to do the billing.
Was that? Okay. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Very informative. It's now 7:30. DPW